Hey guys, and welcome back to another Iron Will podcast with me, Shane Warner, and
John Chase.
So what this podcast is all about is we are trying to get stories from people that have been through a traumatic experience in their lives and came out a different person.
Yeah, they have all created an iron will. So what is an iron will? A burning determination that cannot be stopped or hindered by anything, willing to do anything to get a desired outcome, extremely resilient. So what we like to say is just keep punching.
Yeah. So sit back and relax, and we're going to start the show. Okay, today we have Denzil Dickson on the podcast with us, and how I met Denzil was at Anytime Fitness in Salem, Utah. I met Denzil, and we talked briefly, right, the first time? Yeah. And then I didn't see him for like a long time, and finally I asked about him. Person at the gym, the helper, said he had cancer. I didn't even know, even realize that he had cancer the whole time while I was talking to him. And you can tell, like, I don't know how far into the his cancer he was at this point, but so anyway, I just gonna have Denzil kind of introduce himself, and here you go.
All right, Denzil Dickson. I grew up in Utah, a small town, Morgan, Utah. I grew up there, stayed there until I went on an LDS mission to the Philippines and came back home, moved to the Utah County area, Provo, Orem, to go to school. Things just happened, and I stayed here.
So I want you to kind of explain your personality. On the questions I had you answer, you said you were like 80% introvert and 20% extrovert. And so can you kind of explain what you mean by that?
I'm a big observer of the situation that I'm in. I kind of feel out how the people are, how they're acting, just before I can, I guess, show who I am, bring out my personality. I'm kind of shy at first, but once you get to know me, I'm complete opposite. I will talk and talk.
But let me tell you guys, he looks like a tough guy. Yeah. So he's a little intimidating.
Yeah.
And he also mentioned earlier that he's a smartass. So
yes, big smartass.
But see, that you got to get to know him first, right? That's the
cherry on top, huh?
Yeah. I think anybody that listens to this and know me would all probably smile and laugh and agree.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So how big was the family you grew up in?
I have two brothers, one older, one younger, and a younger sister. My older brother passed away as a result of a car accident in 2008.
How old was he?
He was 40 when he died.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah, that's hard. And what order did he fall in your family?
He was the first.
Okay.
Sorry, he was 49. I was the first. I mean, he was the first. I'm the second.
Okay.
Then I had a sister, and I have a younger brother.
Okay. And so I want to talk to you about your trials, and obviously the main one I want to talk to you about is your cancer. But I want to start off by asking you how your 2008 was. Like you said, you got laid off, and can you kind of explain what happened?
Right. 2008, my brother passed away, and I was trying to help his wife take care of things financially and just different things as a result of the death, because she still had young children and his kids, the blended marriage. So I tried to take care of that all in the same time. I had started doing mortgages.
Yeah.
The economy went bad in 2008.
Yeah.
I jumped from that and went into an investment firm.
Okay.
And then when the economy continued to get worse, then I was eventually laid off. They'd started laying people off, and I knew that I would probably be next.
Yeah, that's tough.
So then being laid off on top of that, it really does a number to your self-esteem.
For sure.
Being a man, the
What
provider.
What do you learn
Yeah.
like from that situation? What do you learn from the struggles you went through? As far as I'm sure you were worried about taking care of your family, like you said. So, kind of explain what that felt like.
It was hard. I wondered, would I lose my home?
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to feed my family?
Right.
Luckily, things worked out. My wife was working, but it made it difficult. We had to really pinch pennies to make things work.
And
luckily, my parents were able to help out here and there.
how old were your sons at this time?
At the time, I believe my oldest, 2008, he would have been a senior in high school.
Okay.
And then his younger brother, Tanner, he is 3 years. And then I had a younger one who was 7 years from the second son.
Yeah. Okay.
This was in, you were saying, so 2008
Right.
was kind of the breaking, or the starting point was your brother passing. And then by the time all this like went down, what's the span of time? A couple years?
With the cancer came in 2017. So, I was able to get a job back where I used to work.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but I had to work my way back to where I'm at.
Sure.
I don't know if you found out after our first time getting introduced to one another. Did you find out after that?
Yes.
Okay.
It was after the fact.
Yeah.
Because I remember that I'd seen you there. And then again, there was times that I started having some health issues. So we were going in and checking and seeing what was going on. And after multiple tests, that's again, when you didn't see me in the gym for quite a while. That's when they had found the cancer, had to go in, do the surgery, start the regimen of the chemo, and all the different things that come into play.
I just, I'm trying to wrap my head around what that feels like to like get that cancer diagnosis.
I think everybody in their mind always wonders, how will I react if that ever happened to me?
Right.
And I thought maybe I would come completely apart.
Yeah. Well, you never
when it
know.
happened. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
And I went to the doctor. My wife and I were there when they did the scope. And as soon as the camera went on to that, I had a gut feeling, this is cancer.
Yeah.
I expected cancer. To me, in my mind, it was always a black spot. It was always a dark spot. But this looked like a piece of coral.
Yeah.
It was pink. It looked like a big chunk of bubble gum is what it was. But and then the doctor had me get dressed. We went into his office, and that's when he's like, you have cancer.
Oh, my gosh.
And we need to get a surgery scheduled. And he didn't know what to expect as far as the size. He tried to describe it. But after surgery, they found out it was much bigger than what they had expected.
Does your heart just drop?
I think I was numb.
Yeah.
I don't think I had any expression at all.
Yeah.
I think it was just complete shock. So it was just
Not
for
a lot
me
of time
being a
to think
smart
about it.
ass, and having something always to say. I was speechless.
Yeah. Well, so the listeners know what kind of cancer?
Bladder cancer.
Bladder cancer. And at that point, was there a stage it was at? Like, what's the...
They weren't sure at the time.
Okay.
But after they went through and they found out the size and the problems with it, that it was stage 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the cancer came back actually a year later. So that's when they up it to the next stage.
So in terms of treatment, up at that point, you had surgery and then your first round of chemo, right?
Right. That went for 6 weeks. And then you were off for a certain period of time, and then you would start another round again.
Yeah.
'Cause they just can't give you that.
What does the chemo make you feel like? Like nauseous or what?
Each time I've had it, I get a different symptom.
Yeah.
Usually it was just exhaustion, really tired,
Yeah.
didn't have any energy.
Sure.
There's a few times, you get kind of nauseous. It would make my body ache. It would make all my joints ache, almost like you had the flu.
Sure. Which can affect your level of activity,
Yeah.
Right.
which affects your mind state, right?
Right.
And your level of confidence. There's a lot that could do. That would be hard for me.
Well,
I can
just
say.
feeling weaker would be hard for you, I imagine.
Oh yeah,
It was really hard. I think when I met you, when we first talked, the gym was the best therapy I never paid for, because I've dealt with depression all my life.
Yep.
But the gym was always something that I could go to
yeah.
that would it would cure
Just-
it for me.
Like for me, when I'm like walking on the treadmill or something like that, I just get lost and like a days or whatever. But I can only do it that at the gym.
Right.
That's awesome.
Because you lose yourself.
Yeah.
You become somebody else. You can put your headphones in. You might come across as stuck up or whatever.
Yeah, but
Again, I'm getting my therapy.
that's
It's-
true.
So that really did. The cancer really did affect it.
Yeah.
That with poor
Not
health.
to be able to do that.
Right.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I don't know. I think we talked a few times because I would come in.
Yeah,
But
every once in a while,
I couldn't last very long. But I thought, I've got to do something. I've got to get out.
I think
just
the
couldn't
one
work.
day I talked to you, you were either getting chemo that day or the next day.
Right. It was the next day.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I wanted to get in whatever
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
before I got the chemo.
Just get that out of you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and the chemo I have, it's called a BCG. It's made specifically for bladder cancer.
sure.
Okay.
Right. I mean, just a little history of bladder cancer. It's a lot of it comes from smokers.
Mm.
And I maybe
Interesting.
smoked several handfuls of cigarettes as
Yeah.
a teenager. Never
Yeah.
been really a smoker.
Yeah.
So
That's
they're,
interesting. Yeah.
they're kind of still baffled as to how I got it. They said sometimes it could be environmental.
Mm.
Oh.
Like you're breathing in something somewhere.
I kind of think
Yeah.
I was drinking some water. We found out later had all kinds of things in it. It was
Oh.
Yeah.
connected
Yeah,
to
that's-
a boiler in this building that we were drinking water in.
Interesting.
This was
Yeah.
right in the middle of all my working out and probably my best shape that I was drinking my eight glasses of water a day or
Sure.
more.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to ask you also, like, you say the gym is where you get your encouragement from or your motivation from.
And
But-
therapy.
But
Yep.
what are you doing to encourage others and make other people's lives better?
This is hard. My wife would probably say, you need to practice what you preach, because I can be really down on myself
Yeah.
because I know how I want to be. So I'm hard on myself. But when I see other people that are hard on themselves, it's like, but look at all these other things that
Yeah.
you've got going for you.
Well,
Yeah.
the things they don't think about or can't see at the time is the same with you. Like, you do it too, from what you were saying. You can't see the good parts of getting cancer or whatever. The things that teaches you to go through that traumatic situation is the greatest life lessons I think you can ever have.
It is. I mean, like with what's happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a time that I'm forever grateful for, but at the same time, I don't want to ever do it again, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
But it lets you see how strong you can be.
Yeah.
Because I get people all the time, it's like, I don't know how you do this.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, without going into it, I've had multiple other health issues on top of this.
Cause from the cancer or
They don't
other
know.
things. Yeah.
They don't know
Yeah.
because it's hard because
Well,
chemo affects
I
everybody
think,
differently.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
also everything affects someone else in some way.
Right.
I like how you were saying that it's easier to see how you can help other people than yourself.
Yeah.
I find that
Yeah.
very common with a lot of people. That it's a lot easier to do that, to really like, hey, look, this is a solution that you could use for yourself, or But then when you're talking about your problems, it's harder sometimes to implement
It
those
is.
things. It really is, because it's really easy to go into a self-loathing kind of process, especially when you're fatigued, when you're tired, when you're not getting to do the things that you love to do. But it's remarkable that you're here, that you have come this far. You've
Right.
gotten to this point where you've seen what you've overcome. That gives you strength, just knowing that fact. I value that in people.
Yeah,
And I think that's
me
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
So anyways, we have an iron will. Where's our little ding ding? An iron will.
This one is 15 minutes. So
That's it. Iron will. Bing. That's awesome. So your first, how was it like the following year? So after the first year, when you said
when
that
did
they
you
found it again.
say you got it 2017?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then in July 10th, I had surgery the second time because it had